Today we're doing something a little bit different. We're making an anime Halloween costume from scratch. Actually, that's a lie because I did buy a dress online. However, the sash and the skirt all made from scratch, and I'm actually going to go ahead and make her staff as well, but that's not included in this video because I ran out of time and this is getting posted right before Halloween. So if you want to learn how to make a costume like Vados for Halloween, stay tuned. However, keep in mind, this is not a tutorial, this is inspiration. I am not a professional. I had to ask my mother-in-law to help me because I was struggling with the sewing machine. So she does most of the sewing in the video, but you can see that she's trying to teach me how to keep up. Keep in mind, this is a Halloween costume, not a wedding dress, so if you look closely, you will find mistakes. However, I think it looks great, and I think this is my best costume yet. And if you keep watching till the end of the video, the second half is me painting pumpkins, inviting my family over as a little thank you for helping me with my costume. So this is my inspo pic. You'll see a green dress on the bottom, a black skirt on top, the black sash with the orange and white shapes on it, and then a red belt just tied around the waist. I got the dress online. I wanted to keep it cheap and affordable because it's not really my personal style and it's very unlikely that I'll be wearing it again. Of course, start by ironing everything just to get the seams out and to make everything pressed flat. For the black fabric, I ended up ordering a curtain on Amazon. I wanted it to be cheap, but also kind of heavy, and to me, that's what a curtain is. So I was able to cut up the fabric and use it to make the sash and the skirt for this costume. The first step was measuring how long and wide I wanted the staff. Then I had to factor in that there was two sides, one in the front and one in the back. So I had to fold the curtain accordingly to try and get it all to fit. I actually only used one curtain for both the sash and the skirt. If you plan it out right, it should all fit on one curtain. Then I start eyeballing it with my measuring tape. I made it about 10 inches wide. I wanted to give me 1 inch for seam allowance on both sides. That might be pretty generous, but again, I'm an amateur. I made it 36 inches long. That is from tip to shoulder. So you'll notice the end has a bit of a point. That's measuring from the center of the point. If you are using a curtain though, I do recommend cutting off the hems, just so it lays nicely. To cut the point, I just measured the distance of it, cut it in half, and then did a rough estimate as long as they looked about the same. Now for the shapes on the sash, we need 2 white dots, 1 orange, and 1 long orange rectangle. Those are all done out of felt, which I got from the dollar store. Cut out your shapes. These were eyeballed and will be sewn on later. So the sash does have a head hole. I had to do 2 long rectangles not attached because of the shape of my curtain, but you'll see here we cut out a head hole and we do line it with bias tape. In order to line the head hole, make small cuts in the bias tape and the fabric so that it makes it more flexible. And when you're lining the outer sash with the bias tape and you get to the bottom, you'll see here my mother-in-law does a small cut so that she can fold it underneath to make a sharp pointed corner. Once everything's sewn, be sure to iron it nicely, trim off all those extra threads, and I even used a lint roller because my curtain was shedding like crazy. At this point, you can sew the shapes onto the sash. Time for the skirt underneath. I didn't measure on the mannequin, I just took whatever extra fabric I had and wrapped it around my waist. We only lined the bottom of the skirt because the top will be covered by the belt. And here's the end result. I'm really happy with how it turned out. I think it's gonna be great. I also have a wig and some makeup to make me look truly like Vados from Dragon Ball.
through the process of setting everything up so we can paint pumpkins tonight. We're not carving pumpkins because it's kind of messy, kind of stressful, and I always like get frustrated that it doesn't turn out how I want it to. And I'm hoping painting will be a little bit different. So I have got 3 pumpkins. We've got my in-laws and my brother-in-law coming over. So we're gonna do a pumpkin per couple, and then we've got one for my brother-in-law. I'm trying to figure out what we're gonna do. So I'm scrolling through Pinterest right now, trying to find something that I like. I'm torn between cutesy and spooky and also limited by my artistic ability. So that's the plan for tonight. So I will show you how everything turns out and a little bit of B-roll footage of me painting the pumpkins.
Thanks for watching. Be sure to comment down below, subscribe, and like this video. And I do post new videos every Sunday. See you next time.